Yeah, what's good? It's your boy Whispy Woodz. And in this video, you guys, this is basically just going to be a new series of my reply. And what I mean by reply, it's kind of my reply to some of the better theories that I think are out there and that I personally think that have some substance. But and I want to make it very clear. My personal opinion is not to be taken to a god's height, okay? Like, just because I know certain things about the symbolism about the game does not mean that, I may be wrong about certain things. That's the point of view and an opinion here when it comes to theory. But I ask you, okay, if we do not have opinion or theory towards what we're doing, are we not, are we not following in the same footsteps as the philosophers once did? Now, understand what I mean by this. I'm going to kind of bring a little substance to, what could be some of the more overlooked things that, are in the mystery, and or what certain jetpack hunters, some of my boys like Trippy and UC and even Bry and even Herbalist and, even myself at times. I will bring a lot of my reply to what I personally feel rather than just what I feel as though is relevant to make a connection. Now, after saying that mouthful, I want to make it very clear. In no way, shape, or form am I discrediting any of these theories, nor am I saying that they're wrong. I just want to make it very clear that this is just my reply and my opinion towards, what could be there, or, what I feel about their theory. Okay, now that we're through that, I want to make it very clear. In Trippy's last video, he mentioned certain leaked files that came through the PC, and he claimed to be that they were new. I personally didn't feel like they were new. I feel like there were a lot of them that were, in last gen, and I feel as though that's one major thing that I'm going to bring up here, is the fact that I feel as though a lot of the things that, once again, we're just looking in the game's coding, and then we're just getting too happy about what we see, like something named zombie or something named horse, and then we just put our, physicalities to things like DLC. Now, understand, we've seen horses in the files of GTA 5 before, and this was in last gen. And I want to make it very clear that this personally, okay, me personally, is what I feel as though is the horse file in the game. Because as you see, this horse in this movie is moving, alright? It's not a picture, it's a model. It's in GTA 5, it's in the theater. They need it in the coding of the game in order for it to even render its movement. Understand what I mean? How it falls, how it's there, and how it gets back up. Now, my biggest point to this, once again, is not discrediting that there may be horse DLC. Who knows? Who knows? That would be awesome. My personal opinion, I agree with Trippy, and I think that would be the shit. But, when it really comes down to it, I think that this is what is really in the file, and that's what we're seeing here. And as for the zombie thing that, we've seen in the file, I feel as though it's this. Zombies. Don't get me wrong, alright? I hate being mistook for being an asshole here, or even debunking. I don't care about debunking. That's not what I'm trying to do, nor am I trying to bring physicalities, okay, to what someone thinks. Because, once again, I agree. If this could be in some form telling us about an apocalypse, in symbolism. But, personally, when it comes down to seeing a zombie in the files of GTA, this is what I think they're seeing, you guys. I mean, there's a fucking zombie, and it's been in GTA since fucking PS3 and Xbox 360. And people have made mods about this shit before. Like, that's the cool part. I mean, and they use this fucking guy from the shit. Like, they just mod him, Okay, once again, mods. Just because they're taking something that is just there that maybe not a lot of people have seen, and then they're showing them to be like a bunch of shit, like, you know, actual zombie apocalypses. It's easy for someone to look at this and then be like, well, oh no, there's a zombie apocalypse coming. Well, okay, that's cool. But, I mean, it's been, what, almost 2 years now, and there's no zombie apocalypse, so I don't think so. But that's just my personal opinion and my reply towards the theory. I'm not debunking, nor am I saying that there will not be anything towards zombies. I just think that this is what we have found in the coding when it comes to PC, because we've found zombies before. Now, one thing I want to talk about too in this episode is UC. And this is me talking to you personally, bro. Like, don't think for 1 second that I'm trying to debunk what you're saying about these FBI agents. I think that if we don't create a dialogue between hunters like this, if we don't calmly and positively come at each other in a sense of dialogue, just as, philosophers did back in the day, no different than Plato and Socrates, then we're not formulating anything that's relevant, okay? We're just kind of having all our own opinions, and that's it. But we need to converse about it, and that's the coming together that I'm talking about. And a lot of you have shown that, and I appreciate you for that. You see, I just feel like, bro, don't get me wrong. Who didn't, who wasn't there when when you found the jetpack box and what we all theorized to be a bunch of things. And dude, you were probably literally one of the first people to find that there was a hidden mission with the Ultras. So, I mean, no one's ever discrediting what you've done for the mystery, ever. Alright, bro, I appreciate you, straight up. I want to make that clear. But when it comes to these FBI agents and the FIB, when it really comes down to why they're at the the satellites and all that, I want to talk to you. See, look, bro, once again, I don't want this shit to be some fucking, your opinions versus mine. This is not what it's about. It's about us formulating something that connects and why we're even looking, okay? I'm not trying to conform you to agreeing with me, nor do I I really care if you truly do, bro. I mean, you have your opinions and I have mine, and that's awesome. That's what creates thought. But at the end of the day, I want you to hear me out no different than I've heard you. Now, when it really comes down to these satellite dishes, I do feel like they're relevant. I agree with you, bro. The FIB, I feel irrelevant. Scientists, most likely relevant. This most likely was something telling us something in last gen, and it could have been a clue, okay? I agree with you on that. One thing that I'm having a problem with, though, okay, and it's not necessarily even a problem or even an indecision towards what you're saying. It's just more or less, I want you to explain this, okay? If they took them out in next gen, bro, if they took this whole scene out in next gen, would or would not a lot of people have missed out on this clue if they just bought next gen? Think about it. I mean, there's a lot of people who bought this game on just next gen. There's a lot of people who didn't play on PS3 or Xbox 360. So, I mean, you have to figure how many people just bought it on next gen and would have missed out on this. So if this was a significant clue, so far as to fucking warrant our direction, then I think they would have kept it and or changed it to something better. No different than how they changed possibly Aaron Paul to a rooster. And when they changed the Zancudo's lights and they actually made them a little better and more visible. My thing is this, okay, and I want to make this a little bit more organized with my wording. I feel as though there, these guys were taken out, okay, in next gen, but because, all right, because there was no real relevance within a sequence in things you had to do, and people were getting confused. There were so many people trying to trigger things with these guys, and then you figure how weird it was when you think about it. And anyone who has gone to this can contest to what I'm saying. Anytime you go near these guys, they're already ready to shoot. I've seen these guys shoot each other. They're screwy. There's something wrong, and not necessarily wrong, but there's something up with their programming, okay, to the point where it's not like a sequenced effect to the point where it's legible. It's not that legible, because they will just start shooting. They'll start shooting at the scientists. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, if it was really about certain aspects of, like, you doing something there and or them showing you that, then I think that they would still be there in next gen. Now, you told me that the reason why they stayed there, okay, the reason why they're still in last gen, they're not in next gen, is because the Zancudo UFOs have already been found. I mean, bro, I just don't feel as though that's relevant. If they took that out because all these UFOs have been found, why did they leave in come back when your story is complete? Why did they leave in all the little things that tell us the time of the UFO? If these were known things and then they took out steps for these known things, why did they only take out this shit? You get what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but like, let's just think a little bit legible about this. Like, really think about it, bro. If once again, if you're going to take out a step of an Easter egg, then you're taking out part of the Easter egg itself. Okay? You're not like, I mean, I would more agree if this was replacing something. All they did was add green lights at the fucking satellites. I mean, like, if that taught us anything, then yeah, it may be tied to, Fort Zancudo. I agree with you on that. It may be tied. That I agree. But tying it to these FBI agents, I don't necessarily see the relevance, bro. I just don't, because if it was that relevant, they would have kept it. Period. Or changed it to something better, just like they did with the cock in the face. Once again, this is just my reply to you, bro. Like, and my reply to any hunter who has an idea, and I'm gonna start doing more episodes like this. Not necessarily debunking at all. This is just me giving my reply to what you think. I mean, if you want my opinion, but once again, don't think that I'm without my faults or that I don't call out my faults, you guys. I know I'm over dramatic, and I know that I give off a sense of knowing too much when when sometimes I don't sound like I do. I get it, man. Like, I think the only thing that really grounds me is the aspect of truth and the aspect of honesty. And I want you to understand that that's all you will receive at this channel is honesty. Okay, and this is Michael going up to the FIB agents, alright, in last gen. Okay, notice how he's telling Michael to leave. Okay, check it out. And he tells him to leave, but then watch this. Watch what I mean. He starts shooting, and then they start shooting each other. Michael didn't even pull out a gun or anything. You see what I'm saying? The scientists run. He's the offender now. It's like, dude, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't understand why this would be relevant in the mystery and it'd be so fucked up. And it almost seems as though they added it there once again to be a clue, alright? But then they took it out in next gen because it was fucked up from the beginning. It was screwy. And there was just no point of it in the sequence, and they didn't want to confuse us with having us go trying to do something. Now listen, you see. For you thinking that the satellite goes in that certain direction towards Zancudo bunker, maybe, bro. I mean, if that's your path, then that's awesome. But I just don't. I want you to understand, bro. Like, go for it. Like, if that's really what what you feel. Once you get the game, just like, let's we'll try to converge our paths so we can come to a good understanding. And that's the point of this video, bro. It's not to rag on your theory or anything like that. So and once again, I'm not without my faults, and I understand that. I just want people to understand and just realize that this mystery and a lot of things in life need to be taken with a grain of salt, but just an aspect of understanding. Let's just understand what we're talking about before we say certain things. And I've even put my foot in my mouth sometimes based on that same ethic of not necessarily thinking before I actually talk. Now, I want you to understand, I'm not here to talk shit or bring my theory as if it's the strongest. I want people to understand that it's okay to have your own path within this, and I encourage it. I encourage my help to help you formulate anything that does bring new information. But I just don't know if these agents were any part of the answer, because such a big answer would have stayed in next gen and at least come back in PC.